Hey everybody, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to start managing your mind so you can get everything that you want in life. I'm Nina Vasquez. I'm a childhood trauma survivor turned trauma-informed life coach, and I'm here to share with you today how to really overcome your mind, how to overcome the parts of you that is holding you back from what you really want in life. Let's talk about it. Why would you even want to manage your mind? What does that even mean? Here's why you want to manage your mind. Our mind is informed by our core beliefs and our nervous system. So when I say today, when I talk about the mind today, I want you to think about the mind as the nervous system, your unconscious thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They're all running the show, and 95% of what you think, feel, and do every single day is run by your unconscious mind. And if you don't manage your mind, your unconscious mind is creating the results and the experience you have in your life every day. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're in the same habit patterns, or you're feeling like you're attracting the same kind of life and the same kind of people into your life, we need to look deeper at your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind. You may hear me say subconscious, unconscious, same thing. The mind, which some call the ego or the small self, has a delusional idea of safety. Let's imagine you had a rough childhood like me, and you were raised to believe that life is hard and you can't trust people and it's unsafe. Then you're going to have life is hard and you can't trust people thoughts about the world, and your experience about the world is going to be influenced by those beliefs. So most of your thoughts will be of that nature. They will sound like that. They will sound like, don't go after that promotion because somebody else has more experience than you do. And it's all because the small self or the ego wants to quote unquote keep you safe from what you might feel if you don't get the job. You might feel discouraged, disappointed, defeated. You might feel like an imposter if you decide to go after the job. So, your brain, which I'm shifting gears here a little bit because it talked to you about your brain. Your brain has two parts. I want you to think about you have a prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain who thinks about the future, who thinks logically. And you have the what we call survival brain, which is very primal, very primitive, and it has three jobs: keep you safe, seek pleasure in the moment, and conserve your energy. So, your brain and your mind want to think the same thing as you thought yesterday. It wants to do the same things that you did yesterday because that conserves your energy. When we lived in caveman days, we all lived in primal days, was keeping you safe from a tiger. But now keeping you safe is like, I just don't want you to feel disappointed. So don't try to go after that goal that you really want because you're afraid of being disappointed if you're not successful. So the mind is really trying its hardest to keep you doing everything that you have been doing in your life. And when you want to transform, and if you're on my page, you are looking to heal and transform your life, the mind will keep you stuck. So it keeps you in survival. But you're working to move from surviving to thriving. How do I know? Because that has been my journey too. So let's talk about how to move from surviving to thriving. Number one, you have to bring awareness into your life. That requires that you understand that you're not your mind. Who are you if you're not your mind? All right. Now, think about the last time you caught yourself thinking about something. Maybe you were washing dishes or putting on your makeup or getting ready for the day, and you saw yourself or noticed yourself thinking. Who are you if you're not the one thinking? If you can observe your thoughts, who are you? Here's what I believe. I believe we are an aspect of our higher self, aspect of our highest being, aspect of source, aspect of God, whatever you choose to call your higher power. You're an aspect of that. And then you are in this human experience and you have a mind that thinks all day long. That thinking, that ego mind can distract you from what we really want to do in life. That ego mind can keep you small if you don't become aware. How do you become aware? Remember, your mind thinks and you don't think. I know it's hard to believe. Your mind is the one that's thinking. And if you are not aware of the mind just runs amok. The mind keeps you in past patterns. So in order to become aware, you need to be quiet and you need to listen. So that was the hardest thing on my journey. And as I go through these 5 tools right now, you're going to start to understand there's a theme. And the theme is being with yourself. And one of the hardest things as a complex trauma survivor is to be with yourself because it wasn't always safe being with yourself. It wasn't always safe in your body. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. And it first starts with becoming aware. Maybe your first step, the first steps for me was, wow, I am a human being who is never with myself. I'm becoming aware. I am someone who always has a podcast, a headphone in. I am distracting myself all day long. I struggle with sitting still. I struggle to journal. That is awareness of my current state, right? So take a look at your life and your behaviors and your patterns and your thinking and notice what you're thinking about all the time. What is it that you're thinking about? Are you thinking thoughts about the future, thoughts about the past? Remember, thoughts about the future create anxiety. Thoughts about the past and unhealed wounds create depression. So just start becoming aware. And you can do that by using journaling. Right now, the current practice that I'm using, and that's changed over the years, is I'm writing in my journal first thing in the morning. Many people call it a thought dump, morning pages, doesn't matter what you call it. Just get your thoughts out on paper. At first, don't try to judge them, just write all your thoughts about the day that you have on a piece of paper. Let one page be enough, let a quarter of a page be enough, and move on. You just start being aware that you're thinking and what you're thinking of. All right. Number two, presence. Some people call this mindfulness. But presence to me is being able to be in stillness. You can use meditation. You can go on a walk without music or audio on. You can use even yoga nidra or an SDR meditation where you're laying down and you're just bringing your awareness to your present moment, to different parts of your body. Presence requires that you be here now. Being here now is like noticing that you're listening to me right now. My hands are together right now, and you're not thinking about anything else but right now in this moment. That's presence. In order to be present, that brings me to number three. The easiest way to bring yourself back to a present moment, especially when you're thinking about the future or the past, is through your breath and your body. Every time you breathe in and every time you breathe out and you are aware of the breathing, your awareness is there, you're focused on your breathing, you're not focused on the mind, you're not focused on any thoughts you have. Well, I'm going to share with you some ways that you can use your body to get out of the mind and stop the mind from overthinking. So, one of my favorite ways is to turn on the song, you can close your eyes and you can stand up and you can allow your body to move freely to the music. If you are a CSA survivor, this may be challenging because we hold a lot of shame in our body. We hold a lot of dense energy in our body and rigidity. And we actually feel a lot of shame, and we feel shame even to move our body in the privacy of our own home. So if you find this challenging, I see you, I understand you, and just give yourself some space, give yourself some grace. Maybe you're not willing to move your whole body, but you are willing to sit still in your chair and just kind of sway, right? Maybe you're willing to start there. When I first started my healing journey, I felt so much shame in my body. I could not dance in the privacy of my own home. I could not move my hips. I could not move my arms. I was just like so rigid and so stuck. And that's okay if that's you. We all have a starting place. Remember, you're now aware of it. Now you're aware that, oh, I don't feel comfortable in my own body. I don't feel comfortable moving my body to music. So be aware of that. So long, deep inhales and exhales will bring you to the present moment. Try it with me now. So your mind's probably thinking, take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale. And as you focus on that, you're totally unable to think about the future or the past. Another way that you can just be present in your body is when you go for a walk. I love walking in nature. It's my favorite thing to do. If you know me, I love being in nature and going for a walk. And if you can take the headphones out and you can be with your body as you're walking, it's cool to just let your mind just be, and the mind is going to think anyway. But every once in a while, just bring your awareness to your body parts as you're walking. Feeling your feet touch the ground is a really cool way to bring that body mind connection. All right. So another thing I want to talk to you about is the body and the nervous system. They play an important part in the way you feel and your thoughts. So if you have incessant toxic shame thoughts, you have a inner critic, you have a toxic negative voice inside constantly, and you're trying to change your thoughts, you're trying to believe new things and lean into creating new results in your life, and you're noticing that, wow, super negative all the time, it's very hard for me to believe anything else outside of what I believe. We have to get into the nervous system and start healing at the body level. Once you create less rigidity in your body and you start creating more capacity in your nervous system and you start feeling safer, you're going to start having different thoughts. And that's going to be an automatic process. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to go right here and download my 5 simple everyday somatic tools that I use every single day to bring safety and regulation into my body. You can journal every single day, you can thought download every single day. But if you don't feel safe in your body, you're not going to be able to change your limiting beliefs. Some of your thoughts are limiting you. And if you get stuck, you want to come to the body. So go ahead and do those practices with me. Right before this video, I wanted to make sure I was grounded and I was coming to you from a place of love. And so I did some practices as well. I used shaking and breathing, and those two are my favorite ones. So check them out. Bring some safety back into your body and bring some moments of time throughout your day out of the overthinking mind and into your body and create some regulation. All right, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is really cool, focus training. So you can use meditation if you want, but have you ever been sitting at your desk and all of a sudden you're working on a project and you start getting a bunch of emails in your Outlook? It's just email pop-ups. Everybody's emailing you. And you're so distracted, and now you got to go look at the emails, and then it turns out it's about some party at the office, and you get distracted about the project you're doing, right? Or you're working on something and all of a sudden you have a squirrel moment. So the mind wants you distracted by everything. You've got internet, social media notifications, you've got Outlook notifications, email notifications. Your mind wants you to stay distracted, and it also likes to keep you in confusion. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're going to start a business, right? And you know that you need to get an EIN number, you need to register your LLC, and there's a couple of tasks that you need to do. But the mind will convince you that you don't know what to do, that you don't know how to do it, and it will keep you in confusion. The mind wants to keep you small, remember? So we have to train the mind to focus on one thing at a time. And in order to become more aware of our mind trying to pull our attention away and make us believe these thoughts, you can use something we call focus training. So what I want you to do is, I want you to grab a candle. I want you to put it in front of you. Set it down in front of you. Grab your phone or a timer. Press 5 minutes on that timer and light the candle and sit in front of the candle and just softly gaze at the candle for 5 minutes. Yes. Now let me tell you, your mind's going to want you to go do the laundry. Your mind's going to want you to pick up your phone and text somebody. Your mind's going to want to move your body. And every time your mind drifts off, you're going to bring it back to focusing on the candle. You're just going to focus on the candle every time. Focus on the candle. All right. So every time your mind drifts off, just bring your focus back to softly gazing at the candle. There's many other ways you can do focus training. You don't have to use a candle. You can use an object, but that can help you 5 minutes a day. And you would be surprised how many times the mind will talk you out of if you wanted to do this practice every day. It'll be like, oh, I don't have time. I don't have 5 minutes. We have more important things to do. The mind will talk to you out of the thing you really want to do. This is the power of the mind. And this is why you're learning how to actually manage your mind. Before I move on, I want to teach you a little bit about the power of your mind. So we have circumstances that exist in the world. Let's imagine that there was a piece of chocolate on the counter. You're going to have a thought about it. If your thought is, I love chocolate, you're going to have an urge in your body, maybe a sensation of excitement. And that sensation of excitement is going to force you to grab it and eat it. That's the action you would take. So your thoughts drive your feelings, drive your actions, and your actions create results. right? So let's say if you had, a weight loss goal and you kept taking that action of eating over and over again, that might move you away from your goal, right? That's how powerful the mind is. But if you saw the chocolate and you said, I've had enough chocolate this week, you'd have more of a retraction in the body and you wouldn't take action, right? So the more aware you are in your life, the more you can create the desired result you want, right? I have another example to share with you because this was one of the biggest hindrances in my weight loss journey. So, all throughout my 20s and 30s, I struggled with gaining and losing the same 30 to 60 pounds over and over and over again. I could not figure out, why can't I keep this weight off? I knew all the right things to do. I knew I was doing some of the right things, but inevitably I would find myself self-sabotaging. Inevitably, I would self-sabotage and I would overeat and emotionally eat. And what I found was I had a subconscious belief. My mind believed I would be safer if I didn't lose weight. I would be safer if I kept on the 50 pounds. Why? Because if I kept that body fat on my body, that would keep me from ever being sexually abused again. So my mind believed that it was doing me a favor, unconsciously thinking it's not safe to lose weight. It's not safe to let go of this extra weight on my body. So most of the time when we uncover this, we become aware, which was number one, we can become aware that we have an unconscious belief. We're, oh no, I want to believe that it's safe to lose weight. Well, we can't go from it's not safe to lose weight at all. I need to keep this weight on my body to stay safe to it is overnight. So if that is you and you know that unconsciously something's blocking you from losing the weight that you want to lose to be healthy, to be in the body size that you want to be in, you want to start off with like, it might be safe to lose 5 pounds. Maybe it's safe to lose 5 pounds and start showing yourself that evidence that it's safe. When I lose 5 pounds, I'm still safe in my body, right? I'm going to do a whole nother video on this because this is one way that our subconscious mind is running the show and we're not aware of it. But once you become aware of it, awareness always comes first before change. So you must become aware. Let's move on to number 5. This one's the most fun one. Number 5 is question everything from a curious place. I had to keep this one for number 5 because the only way you can be curious is if you have a regulated body. If you're stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, there's no way that you could feel curiosity. So make sure you regulate your body first so you can question all your thoughts, all your beliefs, right? Question everything. The more aware you are of your thoughts, the more aware of your beliefs about yourself and the world, the more aware you can be, the more aware you are, the better leverage you get on the mind. So when we're children, we question little, but now we're an adult and your brain and your mind is malleable, meaning you can change your mind. So when you were a little kid, you believed everything that your parents told you, right? For the most part. But now we're adults and we can question every single thing. And your brain is malleable, meaning you can change it. It's like elastic. You can change your belief systems, right? There's only thoughts that serve you or don't serve you. There's no good or bad or right or wrong thought or belief, just the ones that serve you or don't. So keep that at the basis of when you're looking at your thoughts with curiosity. We're like, when I believe this about myself or the world, how does it serve me? Is it serving me? Do I really want to keep this belief? So once you believe you realize that you believe something about yourself, which was number one, you have to become aware of it first. And you don't want to believe it anymore. You're like, no, every time I believed I wasn't good enough, I held myself back in my life, right? You'll want to shift into a new belief. And believing new things is an incremental process. You can expect more videos from me about believing new things and how to find your core beliefs. But for now, I want you to start becoming aware and start questioning everything. Ask yourself things like, when did I start believing in this? Is it really true? How is it serving me to believe this? What do other people believe about this? When did I start believing this? Who taught me this? Right? What would be different if I was believing something else? What would be different in my life if I decided to believe something new? And then ask yourself, does it continue to serve me if I continue to believe this? All right, true transformation happens in the daily 1 degree shifts that we make. So decide today what's something different you'll do today, different than yesterday, so you can start true transformation and start to manage your mind.